The Young and the Restless spoilers Cole's deception, a shocking betrayal that could ruin his relationship with Victoria. In a shocking twist, it appears that Cole Howard's prolonged illness and the physical toll he's been enduring may not be what it seemed. After months of coughing and appearing increasingly frail, Victoria Newman has been by Cole's side, tirelessly caring for him and supporting him through what she believed was a life-threatening condition. However, the truth comes crashing down when Victoria discovers that Cole may have been faking his illness all along. At first, Victoria is devastated by Cole's worsening condition, unable to do anything to ease his suffering. Her love for him drives her to push through her own emotional and physical exhaustion in the hopes of helping him recover. But as the truth is revealed, it becomes clear that Cole's intentions weren't as noble as Victoria had believed. He wasn't trying to get better for her sake, he was using his supposed illness to manipulate her into moving forward with a marriage proposal. Cole's plan was to use her sympathy and her devotion to get her to commit to him, playing on her emotions to push for a wedding. Victoria's anger, betrayed and heartbroken when Victoria uncovers the truth, her reaction is explosive. She feels completely betrayed by Cole, and the pain she feels isn't just from the deceit itself, but from the emotional manipulation she has endured. Cole's scheme to use her love and concern as a way to push her into marriage is beyond cruel. Victoria doesn't just feel hurt, she feels humiliated and deeply disrespected. The realization that Cole would go to such lengths to manipulate her leaves her furious. She screams at him in disbelief, her heart breaking as she processes the betrayal. For someone who has been through so much emotionally, this latest act of deceit feels like the final straw. Victoria is a woman who is used to handling pressure, but being deceived by the one person she trusted most is something she cannot easily forgive. Cole's explanation, too little, too late. As Cole tries to explain himself, the damage has already been done. His words fall flat, and Victoria's anger only grows as he tries to justify his actions. While he may have wanted to express his love and commitment to her, the way he went about it was manipulative and disrespectful. His intentions, no matter how good they may have been, were buried beneath the hurt he caused her. Victoria, furious and betrayed, refuses to let him off the hook. She isn't willing to overlook what he's done, and despite his attempts to smooth things over, she's resolute in her decision. The trust between them has been shattered, and no amount of explanation can repair the damage. This betrayal could very well mark the end of their relationship, as Victoria realizes that someone who truly loves her would never resort to such manipulation. Claire's support, a shoulder to lean on in the midst of the turmoil, Claire steps in to comfort Victoria. Claire, who has been a supportive friend through many of Victoria's trials, understands the depth of her pain. She hugs Victoria, offering solace in the form of empathy and support. Claire gently reminds Victoria that, despite the betrayal, they are fortunate that Cole didn't die, because that would have been a far worse outcome. But even though Claire's words are meant to ease Victoria's mind, the anger still lingers. Victoria is struggling to reconcile the man she thought she knew with the man who has betrayed her in the worst way possible. She may be lucky that Cole is still alive, but she is far from ready to forgive him for what he's done. The fallout: will Victoria and Cole break up for good? The question now is whether this betrayal will be the final breaking point for Victoria and Cole. Their relationship was built on trust, and Cole's actions have irreparably damaged that foundation. Even though he may have intended to push their relationship forward through love, his deceit has left her with a sense of betrayal that may be too much to overcome. At this point, it's unclear whether Victoria will be able to move past the hurt and rebuild their relationship. While she may still care for him, her anger and sense of betrayal are overwhelming. It's possible that their relationship could end, as Victoria may not want to continue a relationship with someone who has so carelessly manipulated her emotions. The emotional scars from this betrayal may be too deep to heal, and their future together is uncertain. What does this mean for Cole's future? For Cole, this may be the beginning of a difficult journey. His decision to deceive Victoria could have far-reaching consequences, not just for his relationship with her, but for his relationships with others as well. His actions have shown a side of him that Victoria never expected, and it will take more than just an apology to win back her trust. In the aftermath of his deception, Cole will likely face the fallout from his actions. If Victoria chooses to walk away, Cole will have to face the consequences of his betrayal. Whether he can rebuild his relationship with her or if this marks the end of their love story remains to be seen. Conclusion: a relationship shattered by deceit. Cole's faked illness and the subsequent revelation of his manipulation have rocked his relationship with Victoria to its core. The emotional toll of his actions has left Victoria heartbroken and furious, and the future of their relationship hangs in the balance. This betrayal could mark the end of their love story, as trust is difficult to rebuild once it has been shattered. For Cole, the road to redemption will be long and uncertain, and whether he can regain Victoria's trust or if their relationship will end remains to be seen. The next few episodes will likely focus on the aftermath of this betrayal, as Victoria grapples with her emotions and decides whether or not she can move forward with Cole. With Clare's support and her own strength, Victoria will navigate this painful chapter in her life, but the road ahead is anything but clear. Cole's deception, a heartbreaking revelation, and the fallout. The drama surrounding Cole's fake illness has rocked Genoa City, leaving Victor and the people close to Cole feeling deeply ashamed and betrayed. The revelation that Cole has been pretending to suffer from a life-threatening illness, including feigning cancer, has shaken Victoria, the Newman family, and everyone who believed in his sincerity. His deception was a desperate attempt to manipulate Victoria into marrying him under false pretenses, but the truth, when it came out, left a trail of devastation in its wake. Victor's shame. The realization of his missteps. Victor Newman, a man who is often seen as controlling and strategic, has always prided himself on his ability to handle situations with power and precision. But when it comes to Cole, Victor feels utterly betrayed. The news of Cole's deceit has made him question his own judgment. Victor, who tried to play a role in supporting Cole and his relationship with Victoria, now feels personally responsible for not seeing through Cole's facade. His usual confident demeanor is shaken as he realizes that, once again, someone close to him has manipulated the people he cares about. Victor's disappointment goes beyond Cole's actions. He's disappointed in himself for not seeing through the lies, and it's something that he will likely struggle with for a long time. This kind of betrayal doesn't sit well with Victor, and it could have serious ramifications on his relationships with Cole and even others in his family who are caught in the crossfire of this deception. Victoria and Billy, a reunion in the midst of chaos. Amidst the chaos surrounding Cole's lies, Victoria and Billy find themselves gravitating toward one another. Both of them are dealing with their own separate issues, but in this moment of shared discomfort and vulnerability, they find solace in each other's company. Billy, who has just made a controversial decision to fire Phyllis, is dealing with his own guilt and shame. As he and Victoria meet to discuss Cole's actions, there's an undeniable connection between them, and they begin to realize that their bond might be rekindled. The conversation between Victoria and Billy is tense at first, as they reflect on the various betrayals and wrongdoings that have occurred recently. But as they talk, they begin to see the possibility of moving forward together, finding comfort in each other's presence. Billy, who has made countless mistakes in the past, feels a sense of understanding from Victoria, someone who has also endured heartbreak and disappointment. For a moment, it feels like their shared pain could bring them closer together. The possibility of a reconciliation, will it be smooth sailing? Despite the emotional connection between Victoria and Billy, the road ahead for them isn't going to be easy. Their past is filled with complications, misunderstandings, and broken trust. While it's possible that they might decide to reunite, their history suggests that it won't be a simple or smooth process. Both of them have baggage, and it will take time and effort to rebuild what was once broken. Victoria has been hurt by Cole's actions, but she's also seen the vulnerability in Billy as he opens up about his own struggles. She understands the pain of being manipulated and deceived, and this shared experience might help them navigate their complicated feelings for each other. However, as much as they may want to make things work, there will inevitably be obstacles. Victoria's lingering resentment towards Billy for his past mistakes, as well as the complexities of their personal and professional lives, will create challenges that they will have to face together. But even with all the challenges ahead, there's a real chance that Victoria and Billy could find their way back to each other. Their emotional connection, combined with the mutual understanding they now share, could lay the foundation for a new beginning. However, whether this will be a lasting reunion or another temporary phase in their tumultuous relationship remains to be seen. Cole's regret, too little, too late. Meanwhile, Cole realizes the magnitude of the situation he's caused and seeks out Victoria to try to explain himself. The guilt is written all over his face as he approaches her, his eyes filled with regret. He pleads with her to understand that his actions were driven by love, but Victoria isn't having it. She's already been through too much, too many lies, too much manipulation. Cole's attempt to justify his actions only makes things worse. As Cole begins to break down emotionally, the realization hits him hard: he has lost Victoria for good. His tears and his attempts to beg for forgiveness are too little, too late. Victoria has already made up her mind, and despite the depth of his sorrow, there's no coming back from what he's done. His desire to make things right is understandable, but the damage he's caused is too significant for her to overlook. A heartbreaking goodbye. Will Cole find redemption? Cole's regret is palpable, and the heartbreak in his eyes is clear as he watches Victoria walk away. He knows that he has destroyed the trust they once shared, and he is left wondering if there is any way to redeem himself. His actions have led to his downfall, and there is no easy path forward. The relationship he hoped to build with Victoria is now in ruins, and he's left with nothing but the weight of his own mistakes. As for Victoria, while she may still feel a twinge of empathy for Cole, her anger and betrayal are too deep for her to forgive him. She has already suffered too much from the lies and deception in her life, and she refuses to let Cole add to that pain. The emotional scars left by his actions will take a long time to heal, and the possibility of a reunion seems unlikely. What does this mean for the future of Victoria and Billy? As for Billy, he may find himself in a position where he has to choose between his past with Victoria and his future with Sally. His relationship with Sally is still new, and the fallout from his interactions with Phyllis, combined with his history with Victoria, could lead to further complications. Billy has always struggled with loyalty and commitment, and now he's caught between two women who represent different aspects of his life. In the coming episodes, fans can expect more emotional drama as Billy and Victoria navigate their feelings for one another, while Cole grapples with the consequences of his deceit. The tangled web of relationships, trust, and betrayal will continue to unfold, leaving everyone questioning whether they can ever find happiness amidst the chaos. Conclusion. A future shaped by betrayal. The fallout from Cole's deception, combined with the rekindling of Victoria and Billy's relationship, promises to be a major storyline in the coming episodes of The Young and the Restless. As characters like Cole, Victoria, and Billy deal with the aftermath of their actions, the emotional consequences of betrayal and forgiveness will continue to shape their futures. Whether or not Victoria and Billy can find happiness together remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: Cole's deception has left an indelible mark on everyone involved, and the ripple effects of his actions will be felt for a long time. As Cole Howard's health continues to deteriorate, the central concern in Victoria Newman's mind is whether his condition is truly as bad as it seems. Victoria has stood by Cole's side, offering her support and love as he suffers, but deep down, she can't ignore the nagging feeling that something much more serious is at play. The constant coughing, the pain, and the overall decline in his health have left her unable to rest until they get a clear answer. As Victoria anxiously waits for Cole's test results, she finds herself confiding in her brother, Nick Newman. She opens up about her fears, admitting that there's something very wrong with Cole and she's not sure how to handle it. The uncertainty surrounding his health is eating away at her, and despite her strong exterior, she's afraid that this might be the beginning of an irreversible decline. The possible diagnosis looms over her, and every passing day brings new anxieties. Will the doctor confirm her worst fears, or is there still hope for Cole's recovery? The doctor's diagnosis, a grim future? The test results are a pivotal moment in Cole and Victoria's storyline. Will the doctor's diagnosis be as bad as it seems? Given the gravity of the situation, there's a real possibility that Cole's illness is more than just a passing flu or infection. It could be something much more serious, something that could affect both his future and his relationship with Victoria. A grim diagnosis would be devastating for Victoria. Her emotional turmoil over Cole's deceit already weighs heavily on her, and now, with his health in jeopardy, she's caught in a complex web of conflicting emotions. On one hand, she has to deal with the hurt of Cole's betrayal. On the other, her compassion for him, especially now that his life is at risk, makes her question everything she thought she knew about their relationship. The potential diagnosis could dramatically change the course of their relationship. If the news is as bleak as Victoria fears, she might have to face the reality that the future she envisioned with Cole is slipping away. However, if the diagnosis is more hopeful, it could lead to an unexpected reconciliation, one where Victoria decides to move past Cole's mistakes and focus on supporting him in his recovery. But with the way things have been between them, it's clear that nothing will come easily. Tessa's growing concerns. Mariah's guilt and strange behavior while Victoria is consumed by the uncertainty surrounding Cole's health. Another emotional crisis is unfolding for Mariah Copeland and Tessa Porter. Mariah's erratic behavior, paired with her mounting guilt over her recent actions during her business trip, is beginning to weigh heavily on her relationship with Tessa. Mariah's behavior has become increasingly strange, and Tessa can't help but notice the signs. She's seen Mariah drink excessively, and her odd mood swings make it clear that something is wrong. Tessa, as someone who has always supported Mariah through thick and thin, begins to worry that there is more to the situation than Mariah is letting on. She knows that Mariah has been dealing with a lot emotionally, but the behavior she's displaying now is beyond what she would expect. Tessa starts to fear that Mariah might be keeping something from her, and she wonders if this is the result of something more serious, a hidden issue that Mariah is too afraid to confront. Tessa begins to question whether this is just a temporary phase or if something deeper is at play. Mariah's confession, was it a drunken mistake? The tension between Mariah and Tessa reaches its breaking point when Mariah finally admits, albeit under the influence of alcohol, that she has made a terrible mistake. Mariah, in a fit of guilt, confesses to Tessa that she has been unfaithful. Though Mariah is clearly emotionally distressed and unsure of the full consequences of her actions, she fears that this will irreparably damage her relationship with Tessa. Her confession is laced with uncertainty. She doesn't even fully know what happened, but the fear of the truth is eating at her. Tessa, shocked and heartbroken by Mariah's admission, struggles to process what she's hearing. She wants to believe that Mariah is simply drunk and speaking out of guilt and confusion, but the sincerity in her words makes it hard to ignore the possibility that Mariah has crossed a line. Tessa wonders if this is the end of their relationship, but deep down, she still holds on to hope that they can work through it together. The strain on their marriage, will Mariah and Tessa survive? As Mariah grapples with the consequences of her actions, her marriage to Tessa is placed in jeopardy. The emotional toll of her guilt and the possibility that she has betrayed Tessa in a way that cannot be undone weigh heavily on her. While Mariah might be struggling to come to terms with what happened during her trip, the fallout from this mistake could be more than either of them can bear. Tessa, though she loves Mariah deeply, faces a difficult choice. Can she forgive Mariah for what has happened? Or has this betrayal crossed a line that is too far to come back from? The future of their marriage hangs in the balance, and the road to healing, if it's even possible, will be a long and painful one. The uncertainty ahead. What will happen to Mariah and Tessa? The next few weeks will undoubtedly be filled with uncertainty for Mariah and Tessa. Whether Mariah's affair was a drunken mistake or something deeper will soon come to light. And while Tessa may initially be torn between understanding her wife's struggles and dealing with the profound hurt that Mariah has caused, she will ultimately have to decide whether their love is strong enough to overcome this betrayal. As Mariah's emotional and personal struggles unfold, her relationship with Tessa is tested in ways neither of them could have anticipated. And with the weight of Cole's illness, Victoria's own relationship struggles, and Mariah's mistake looming over them all, the future is uncertain. The drama in The Young and the Restless continues to unfold, with twists and turns that could change the course of these characters' lives forever.